This tutorial will help you revise your search strategy, particularly if your initial search strategy doesn't seem to be leading to many relevant results in a library database. This happens to all of us, and what we just need to do is know some strategies to take when that does happen. Let's say that a paper topic that you're working on for CCC is about how being on a sports team or participating on a sports team helps build a sense of community. What I first want to do is locate some databases that may have some relevant journal articles about that topic. So from the library homepage, I would select Articles, Databases, and Subject Guides. I then need to determine some relevant databases that may be useful for this topic. The easiest way to do that is to scroll down on our databases page and look to see if there are any subject guides that may have databases on this topic. For this topic of sports teams and community, I may want to start with the topic of sports management. I can see the library guide for this major. Typically, relevant databases will be listed near the top of the databases box. In this case, the database Sport Discus would be an excellent choice to look for journal articles that have to deal with the topic of the community that is created or develops on a sports team. I can then start with a simple search of the Sport Discus database using keywords that I have already thought about when developing my thesis statement. So I might want to start with a search strategy of sports teams and community. That seems like a good way to begin a search. However, when I then look through the first page or two of results, I may notice that they do not seem to be particularly appropriate or relevant. This can be pretty discouraging. So what do I do next? Well, the first thing that you may want to do is spend some time thinking of different keywords that will help you get to this topic. In this case, for sports teams and community, one thing that I may notice is that I may find journal articles that are about, for instance, community rec teams. So it's using community in a different context. So one thing I may want to do is change that word community. One word that comes to mind might be teamwork. Having a sports team develops a sense of teamwork. So I can revise my search based on keywords that I brainstorm and think of. Another strategy that I may want to do is to change my sort order from date newest to relevance. This will put articles that the database thinks are most relevant up near the top, sort of how Google does it. I then notice that these articles are starting to look a bit more relevant, and in addition, I may be able to pick out additional keywords that can help me revise my search. For instance, this keyword here in the title of the first article looks to be especially good, the keyword cohesion. That's really what I'm trying to get at in this search. The fact that being on a sports team develops that sense of cohesion as I'm thinking about community. So I may again, for the third time, revise my search and change the keyword from teamwork to cohesion. Or I might want to say teamwork or cohesion. I do that search again, keeping it in relevant search order, and scroll down through the list of results. This list does seem to be certainly much more relevant than my first search strategy was. Another strategy that I can do is look at the subject words. For instance, the subject words in the third article listed has social cohesion. That may be an even better search strategy. So I would go up at the top and type in social cohesion. Again, trying to get at this sense of community that can occur on sports teams, which is the thesis of my research paper. And finally, as I scroll through, I can see that this really does lead to a better and more relevant list of results. So what I hope that you have learned from this tutorial is not to be frustrated if your initial search leads to results that don't seem that relevant. Instead, look at changing the sort order to relevance. Think about brainstorming additional keywords that you may want to try, and look for additional keywords in either the title, the subject, or the abstract to continually revise and improve your search strategy and eventually get to better results. And as always, if you are stuck and frustrated with your search strategy, select the Chat with a Librarian or Send Librarian a Message through the green bar that is available through most of the library web pages. We're happy to help.